Hello and welcome to the main event, Oregon's 5A basketball podcast. I am Jackson Noggle, one of three hosts, joined always by Brian Rathbone and Elias Esquivel, two of my favorite people. We got a fun episode for you guys coming out today. A couple of fun polls ranking teams. Yeah, fellas, how we doing? Elias, start us off.
I'm doing great. It was fun to sort of get a little glimpse of like what's happened so far in the season because it's a day old now, or at least since games started. Um, so I'm just excited to be here. We took a little break, excited to be back, and just dive right into hoops.
Totally. Brian, what you got?
Well, I figured I would share a little bit of news since our last podcast. I had a stroke on Thanksgiving morning playing flag football over at David Douglas. So I was in the oh, crazy. So I was in the hospital for 4 days. That first day I couldn't talk or write or anything, spell any of that things or those things. But I'm feeling better out of the hospital since Sunday. Um, and physically, I'm good. Mentally, I'm good. Still understand what people are saying, and you know, do everything I could do before. But the talking aspect is a little slow to get back to where it was. Um, same with writing. So yeah, I'm like I would say like 95% of the time I'm normal Brian, but uh, there's times where like I want to say something, but my mouth can't say it the way I normally would. But the doctors are hopeful that in due time that I will be back to normal. And one of the doctors said, one of the good things to do while I you know change or dealing with this speech issue is challenge myself to talk and uh you know string together thoughts and all that good stuff. So what a better way to do that than uh dive right into high school hoops and record podcast. And yeah, so I'm excited to be back when like last week I wasn't sure if that would be possible.
Totally, Brian. Well, I'll tell you what, you sound great. I know Elias and I are pumped to have you back in action here. And I'm sure the audience is pumped to have us all back and to hear the same about you here this week. We do want you guys to know that we do have you Mid-Willamette and NWalk fans. We do have those conference previews still coming to y'all, just a little bit delayed. Hopefully by, some time next week, we'll have both of those out and to you guys. So that's, a little sneak peek at where the show's going for the next few episodes. But today, like I mentioned earlier, we're taking a look at the, 5A coaches poll, in addition to a media poll that our friend Brian, who just got off the mic, is, pulling together this year. Um, Been a bit of a hole in high school hoops in the state of Oregon, in my opinion, is the existence of a media poll. So I'm glad that he's doing that, and it's been a lot of fun for all three of us to participate in that and have a hand in some sort of greater ranking that may not mean it more than any of our individual rankings, but hey, it's nice to see that pulled together. Um, I guess we'll start with the coaches poll. Um, Probably the one that more people are paying attention to. Um, and wrongfully, I'll come out and say, um, I think that our rankings are a little bit better than these. Um, but still some good stuff here. I guess we'll run through the rankings real quick. At number one, we have a dead even tie between two NWalk teams, Canby and Wilsonville. How about Canby, though, leading the way with first place votes? They have three. Wilsonville has two. Both of them have 80 points or whatever, however you want to, call that. Then we got Park Rose at 3, also with 2 first place votes. Then we got Summit at 4, West Albany at 5, Centennial at 6. Both of those 2 schools also with a first place vote. Thurston at 7 with a first place vote. LaSalle at 8, Crook County at 9, Ridgeview at 10. So first place votes scattered all around. LaSalle also had one, which is really, really interesting. That's definitely one of my main takeaways. Um, but yeah, there's a lot to get into there. What you got, Elias?
Well, there is some variance between that and the media poll that you mentioned that Brian put together. I want to say thank you to Brian for doing that, man. In your conditions, still wanting to be involved and contribute to the podcast and just like the greater landscape of 5A basketball overall. It's awesome, man. And I think I speak for all our listeners that we're just happy that you're safe and we're thrilled that you're back. And I mean, kudos
Big
to you,
time.
man. It takes a lot of courage to even come on here and yeah, speak, right? Like that's the one thing you're still having issues with, and that's all we do here is talk our heads off. So, um, I mean, just kudos to you, man.
Thank
Um,
you.
with that spiel over, back to basketball. Um, I mean, it's. I know we kind of mentioned a little bit, or offline, we talked about how Camby's ranking was a little high. Um, I don't know. Should we bring that up? Should we bring like what we found out about one of their players not playing?
Sure.
I think that's a good thing to bring up.
Yeah.
Elias, what are you
Jack.
talking about?
Well, we heard that Jack Brockmiller isn't playing this year, um, which is it's a great loss to the team. Um, and I don't know. I don't know how many of these coaches were aware of that when they obviously voted for the poll. I think that would have maybe changed things quite a bit because we knew about it, and when we casted our votes for our top 10, top 8, it definitely I think was apparent that we all were aware of that because I think we had them like slated around 5 or 6. Um, so it is interesting. I'm curious to know what like the other coaches' opinions would be. Um, they arguably most likely know ball a lot more than we do. So I would be interested to see how that's reflected in the poll next week or 2 weeks from now, whenever they do it again. Um, I was also surprised by the LaSalle Prep like first place vote and the fact that they're like even in the top 8. Like I understand they're the reigning defending champions and obviously they're a fantastic program. I just feel like they lost a lot from last year. Um, maybe those around the state know more than I do because I'm just very unfamiliar with what this team's going to look like this year. Who's going to really step up and sort of play alongside Riggy and be a major contributor? Like they have big shoes to fill, big roles to fill. Um, so that was I think LaSalle Prep and Canby. Those were the 2 teams that really kind of at least intrigued me. That made me kind of think about it a little bit.
Brian, we can go over to you. What you
Yeah,
see on
I
this list?
yeah, I think the Jack Brockmiller uh loss is big for Canby. When Canby really started to play better down the stretch, where they made the state tournament, reached the semifinals, like he was a big reason why they did that. Like obviously they have Jackson Lawson back. He's a dynamic player, probably one of the best we have in the state. But man, you lose their big guy who was a great shot blocker, rebounder. Man, that's really going to be tough to replace. So I personally, I left them out my top 8 because I thought that was a huge loss for Campy.
Yeah, I totally agree. The coaches are really high on them. I'm not as high. I do think I still had them in my top 8 in the media poll. And that's because they do like Lawson A is just such a terrific guard for them. One of the best in the state, like you said, um, Brian, and he can just really score the ball by himself pretty effectively. I think that's another reason why LaSalle Prep's up there, Elias, is Riggy is just that good. There's not a lot of teams in the state that have a guy that's as good as a Jackson or a Riggy. So even just having a guy like that gives them a leg up on a lot of these 5A teams. And then Canby still has some depth. They got Cohen Vandekovering. He's a great player that was, stepping up last year. Cooper Cousin played big minutes in that run. Um, I believe we have Ben Twitchell is back. 6'4", has some size, played some big minutes for them during that run. So yeah, I expect all these guys to be bought in this year after that big run they had last year. And I think this culture is in a good spot right now. So yeah, I'm still somewhat high on Camby, but yeah, seeing them at number one was a bit of a shock to the system for sure. Um, and I like Elias said, I do expect that to change pretty soon. My big thing with this ranking is Centennial is too low. Okay, I'm high on Centennial this year. Um, just the depth that they have is really, really impressive. They bring back a lot of players. They bring in some key transfers. A guy named Jamel Baker is going to play a huge role for them. Um, and I watched them almost pull off the legendary 15-2 upset at Thurston last year, and they bring back a lot of pieces of that team, including Darius Andrews, great point forward type of guy who's 6'3" and physical, but can also really handle the ball super well and create for himself and others. And then they got Zaire Williams, a good guard, Sincere Poe, Harold Turner, a good post player, athletic. So yeah, these guys have great depth. Quentin Neal, I'm pretty sure he's the QB for the football team. Great athlete, really great 3-point shooter. Had a big game against Thurston last year. So yeah, I think these guys are primed to make a run. I really think like they maybe don't have that single go-to guy like a Riggy or a Jackson, like those other guys we were talking about. Um, but when you look at the depth and just the number of playmakers that they have and guys that can go get a bucket, um, it seems to me like maybe a few of those guys would be number one options on other teams, for sure. So yeah, I'm really, really high on this Centennial team. I do like that they got at least one first place vote. That's whoever did that smart. So yeah, I'm high on the Eagles. I think they're going to be really, really good. I think the NWAC is going to be so much fun to watch this year with the amount of top end teams in that league. Can't wait to bring that preview to you guys. But yeah, also Thurston up inside the top eight. I'm still high on them. We touched on them in the Midwestern League preview though. It seems like North Eugene might be the team to beat in that league this year, and they weren't even in the top 10. They were the only team included on others receiving significant votes here. So yeah, I would have the Highlanders in the top 10 somewhere. Um but yeah, that and those Centennial guys being too low are my main takeaways. Um anything else you guys want to touch on here?
Centennial's exciting. It's
Yeah,
like it's a great opportunity for. I mean, obviously those kids are I don't see it becoming like a power grab situation. I think they all will probably get along and play together very well. But the opportunity is there for one of them to step up and sort of assert themselves as, a 1A or 1B kind of guy. Going back to Canby, you did mention Ben Twitchell. Dane Edwards, he's also a pretty decent big, who I think those two guys are really going to be the ones they're looking to rely on with Brock Miller out of the lineup completely. They kind of leaned on them early on in the season when Brock Miller, what was it? I think he was recovering from a football injury last year. Um,
yeah,
and then they kind of held on until Brock Miller could step in and really like take that role and just be great at it like he was. But yeah, Twitchell and Dane Edwards, I think they're going to be, from what I can remember last year watching them, they're pretty, they're not as like imposing and as just like sheer dominant as Brock Miller is in terms of his physicality, the way he can obviously protect the rim. They're a little more, I guess I would say, they're not as athletic, but they do seem to have like a nice feel for the game. Like Dane Edwards, he seems like a guy who can actually, you know, have a little bit of a game with his back to the post. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how Canby decides to incorporate those two guys as more of like a focal point in the offense, because I think that kind of showed out last year. That's when Canby was like at its best when they had the perimeter shooters around the arc, with Jackson kind of with the keys of the offense running the show, but also able to drive and dump two guys down below. So yeah, I think that'll be interesting to see. And they'll have a target on their back now since they were seated first in the coaches poll. So it'll be fun to see how they respond.
One more point for me is the seven teams that received first place votes. I think
Yeah.
that's rare, um, historically. And one of the teams that didn't receive the first place vote is Summit, which is when you play, for now four straight state titles, that's kind of
Yeah.
surprising,
Wow.
especially since they're ranked so highly in the coaches poll four, but no receiving votes or first place votes. So that was a kind of shock to me as well.
You took that personally, didn't you, Ryan?
No, 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 no.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a lot of different teams that are getting first place votes. It means the coaches are, disagreeing on, who's deserves it right now.
Mhm.
I was gonna ask Brian, um, what you thought about just Summit and Crook County's placements in general as the guy that's, watched them a little bit, compared to Elias and I. I was surprised that Crook County was down at 9, honestly. I thought they were gonna have some hype coming into this year. I mean, obviously they still do at number 9, jumping up from 4A. But yeah, just maybe some thoughts on that.
Also,
Uh,
Ridgeview, because I do think, sorry, I
Oh
did
yeah,
just
and
want to
Ridgeview,
say,
obviously. Yeah,
I
good
think
point.
the IMC, are they along, well, let's see, Wilsonville, Park Rose, Centennial, LaSalle.
Can
Okay,
be
so they have the second most teams in this
mhm.
coaches poll.
true.
Crook County, I honestly expected them to be higher. In my top eight, I ranked them eighth. So but I would, with the hype, with Bryce Lowenbach coming back, I would have expected, they're like, hey man, maybe coach uh would have probably like 6, 7 range, but I mean 9. I mean they're kind of far off votes from 8. So yeah, I think nine's a good spot for them to come in for preseason. Same with Ridgeview. Missed the playoff last year. Not uh from missing the playoffs one year to being in the top 10 team. It's pretty good.
True. Expectations must be high, surrounding the Ravens coming off,
Mm,
like you said, not being in the postseason last year. I know that you're high on them, Brian. Um,
but they didn't make my top 8. So I probably would have had them 10.
yeah. All right. Well, we don't disagree too hard with the coaches here. They got a good batch of teams up top for sure. There's not any like crazy wild card picks here, which is good to see. Um,
Before you're gonna move on to the media poll now, right?
I was probably about to. Yeah. What you got?
I was gonna just compare the poll from last year, this year, like the two coaches
Yeah.
polls, the
Yeah.
preseason
Yeah.
poll.
Yeah. Do that.
Perfect.
So just gonna run through the list one more time. This year, Canby and Wilsonville were atop at 1, tied. Then Park Rose, Summit, West Albany, Centennial, Thurston, LaSalle Prep, Crook County, Ridgeview. Others receiving significant votes was North Eugene. Compared to last year, it was Wilsonville top, Woodburn number 2, West Albany number 3, Thurston, Redmond, Caldera, Churchill, LaSalle Prep, Summit, Crater, and then quite a bit of teams received significant votes. Ridgeview, Crescent Valley, Centennial, and Mountain View.
Wow. That's crazy to listen to because it's a very different list this year.
Yeah, and Wilsonville last year, I mean, it makes sense. They received 7 first place votes.
Right. A lot of change up top, a lot of different, teams that have some talented players coming down the pipe that are now, reaching their junior and senior years, ready to make a run on these programs, stepping into the top 10.
One,
Um,
one more with
that's great. Yeah, go
Jackson
ahead.
before you move on.
Yeah, I'm
So our polls and the coaches polls are the exact same 11 teams for
wow.
vote, like who receive votes. We also had Crescent Valley, um, because I asked for top 10 teams or top 8 teams, and some people sent 10, and that was the only difference was one person sent in Crescent Valley. So the coaches and the media are pretty aligned.
Hand in hand.
Yeah.
I
We love
sent
to see
10.
it.
Sorry about that.
Nick Strang. Also.
Hey
Yeah, honestly,
man,
that's
it
pretty.
it
Go
counts
ahead,
towards
Elias.
I was gonna just say it counts towards the receiving significant votes portion.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy to listen to all those teams that were up there that aren't here this season. There weren't too many, but a couple. Redmond. I don't know who I can't remember who else there was there, Elias, but
Caldera,
Caldera. Yeah, a lot of change.
Woodburn.
Woodburn, Crater.
Woodburn, yes. Churchill.
Hmm.
So a lot more um, variety in the leagues involved in the top 10 last year. Now it's just, we got our 4 or 5 NWAC teams, then our 3 IMC teams, and then just one of each from the other two. So that's interesting. Um, yeah, we'll segue that into our media poll, um, which, like Brian said, pretty much in agreement with the coaches in terms of which teams are at the top, not the specific order of them, but we got the same 11 up there. Um, so the media voted Wilsonville at number one, Park Rose at number two, Summit all the way up at number three, um, Centennial at four, West Albany five, Canby at six, North Eugene seven, and Crook County at eight. So I like this list. Um, I like that Centennial's a little bit higher. Um, we got Summit, up near the top. They do have a first place vote this time, right, Brian? I actually don't have that specifically in front of me, but I'm pretty sure they did get one.
Yes.
Summit did, yeah,
Yes.
in the media
Uh,
poll. Also, I was
yeah,
gonna say in the media poll they got Centennial got a first place vote. Was that you, Jackson?
that was me. I'm very high on Centennial. Yeah, just the depth that they have. Like I said, some of these teams may have, better first or second options, but um, yeah, I think Centennial's going to be bringing guys off the bench that would play huge roles on some of these other 5A teams. I think they have great depth. Um, Same thing with Park Rose. I think those two teams are going to be really, really fun to watch, and just kind of have sort of an embarrassment of riches when it comes to basketball talent at the 5A level, especially recently. We haven't seen teams. You know, we have seen really, really talented teams, so I shouldn't quite say that, but just a lot of firepower from those two Portland squads. Seeing them compete at the 5A level, we haven't seen a lot of that lately. Excuse me. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Um, yeah, I don't know. What are your guys' takeaways from the media poll? I don't have anything huge jumping to me.
So I like obviously put this together. So I have some data, um, all the votes and whatnot. So I can probably run through some interesting notes for the top one. So
Perfect.
yeah, so maybe that will be helpful. So Wilsonville, uh, 4 first place votes, the most by far. Unanimous top three ranking in the media poll. So they were never ranked lower by the 8 media members who voted this week. Um, Thoughts?
They
That's
weren't ranked
interesting.
lower than third by anyone.
No.
That's pretty crazy. I will say we maybe need to temper ourselves on Wilsonville a little bit. It's hard to when the proof is in the pudding with these guys year in and year out. I mean, they're always there when it comes to the postseason and being one of the top teams in the state. But yeah, I mean, they replace a lot this year. A lot of big pieces from last year's team. So, I mean, they're going to need guys to step up. I'm really high on Michael Ratcliffe. I think he's going to be great. I think he's going to take a big step as a big man that's got some skill and a guy that has varsity experience, so he may be able to step in as a leader. Az Bro, obviously transferring over from Centennial, great athlete. He's a lanky guy that can rise up and shoot a jumper over top of you. Love his game totally. So yeah, they've got some pieces for sure. Some guys that have been in the program for a while as well. Jet Bruce, obviously, I was trying to come up with his name for the last 2 minutes. Great in last year's state tournament. Um, honestly brilliant. I can't remember which specific game that was where
West
he put
Albany.
together West Albany put together an awesome performance. They would not have won that game without him. So definitely looking for him to step in.
Oh, did he just lag out?
Yeah. All
You're gonna have
right.
to keep that in because that's hilarious.
So yeah, Wilsonville definitely has some pieces that I'm confident in, and I'm always confident in that program and head coach Chris Roach. Obviously, those guys know how to do it right out there. They play winning basketball, great system, great culture, great reputation. Um, that said, I don't know, having him all the way up inside that, well, all the way up at number one for the media, is might be a little too much. That's high expectations for a group that brings back, practically, well, not practically nothing, but not a lot from a team a year ago that was, obviously a state championship contender. Um, so yeah, I I'm okay with it because it's Wilsonville. I mean, they belong there until the rest of these guys prove otherwise, right? So we'll see.
Yeah, I voted them my number one team. Just when in doubt, you can, count on them to, be, one of the top teams competing for a state title. So that's why I went.
Exactly. It's a safe bet.
Yeah, I think it was I don't remember what the exact like verbiage was used, but last year we had an episode where we discussed like something along the lines of like what former priors or like held beliefs do we have about programs that are like influencing our decisions or influencing our opinions. I think
Yeah.
this is a case of that, obviously, with Wilsonville at one, Summit at three. It's just a safe bet, like Jackson mentioned. And then Park Rose is like Centennial last year. So many people were high on Centennial. Now Park Rose is like the new shiny toy of people just having like elevated expectations for them. Besides that, though, the poll makes sense to me. Um, you'll have to hang on to those receipts though, Brian, because maybe we'll expose some of media members and their lack of ball knowledge, depending on how these shake out.
Well, here's an interesting point about Park Rose. They finished with 60 votes, tied with Summit, but they only seven of the eight media members voted them in the poll. So one, maybe not ball knower, left them out of the top eight. Maybe they
Yeah,
have to pull
it's
his ballot.
we'll have to see about that.
So yeah, so like uh two first place votes. Like yeah, they're a fun team to pay attention to this year because they have a ton of talent uh coming into the program that was there that wasn't there last year.
It's going to be lot of fun, man. Look at us here, discussing whether or not preseason 5A polls make sense or not. Whole lot of waffling really, but I love that we have it here to talk about, right?
Mhm. I could probably run through these eight pretty quickly. So like Summit tied with Park Rose with votes. They were a unanimous top eight, six teams. So none of the media members voted them lower than sixth. Um, Only twice people voted them sixth. One first place vote, which was different from the coaches poll. Um, Centennial, there's a bit of a drop off of the top three teams with Centennial with 50 votes, one first place vote, Jackson, and they were a unanimous top eight teams. Any thoughts on those two teams, fellas?
Nothing in particular. I feel like I've said enough about them. Summit, yeah, I don't know. They're a question mark for me, really. I'm big on Foster though, and Matthew.
Yeah, I put Summit two, and what did I put? And so Summit was at two, Park Rose was at three, and then Centennial was four for me. So pretty
Do
close
you,
to
do you have the like how we voted in front of you, Brian?
yeah.
I think you should read off our three at least. The rest of the guys we can save them, but like we should
Okay.
be held accountable for our
Okay.
opinions.
Yes. 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 So, I'll Elias also went Wilsonville number one, and Summit two, uh, and Centennial four. You had Park Rose six. So those are the four teams that we discussed so far where you ranked them. And Jackson, obviously, he's riding high for the Eagles this year. Number one, Park Rose two, Summit three, and Wilsonville four. So I think what was it? The 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 big change was Elias had Park Rose at six. That was one of their lower rankings, other than the guy who didn't leave him make him a top 18.
Mm.
Elias said seeing's believing.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I just don't know enough about them to be like they deserve to be a top three team. Um, just
I
kind
agree.
of,
I like that
you
take.
know.
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair. So number five for the for our ranking was West Albany. Um, a, a, a- Another big drop from Centennial, 50 points. They were at 37 votes. Seven of eight voters put them in the top eight. Highest rank four and lowest rank of nine for the people who sent 10 votes. Um, yeah, like I swear, like everyone was like four, five, or six for West Albany, which I feel like they have been stuck at for years. For
True.
yeah, you can attest that, Jackson.
Definitely. We've seen them at the state tournament year in and year out, finish in that range, be seated in that range. So I think it's a good spot, and it makes sense why the media members have them there.
Yeah. And then the sixth was Canby, which is the biggest change from the coaches poll to the media poll. Um, Two voters left them off the list, myself
Oh
included.
wow.
Um, and they were as high as number two on uh, the media poll. Obviously, no Jack Brockmiller on the roster is we don't. I'm assuming people didn't know that statewide. Um, um, so um, so I had West Albany sixth and left Canby off my top eight. Oh, Elias, you left West Albany off?
I think I put them like number nine, didn't I? Or did
You
I
did,
complete?
you did,
Yeah.
you did. But
I
I asked
need.
for top eight. Top
I
eight.
know. I
No.
know.
And
I
then
need. I need Andy LaSalle to hop on and school me on West Albany because I don't really know a whole lot besides Tyson Walker. I don't really know what's going on out there.
Jonah LaSalle?
Oh, of course. My mistake.
Gray Neiman's going to be really good.
Yes, there's
He's a
another
guard
one.
for them.
And then Elias, you had Canby as ranked seventh. And Jackson, oh wow, you're another one. West Albany's at seven and Canby at eight. I
Yeah,
I sense a theme. Um, us three knew the Brock Miller news.
Maybe.
true.
Maybe we just all have a personal vendetta against Camby.
Yeah.
Why would that be? Why would that be?
I saw that their Instagram page posted it and was like, they'll never learn or something like that.
I seriously, we have beef with them. It's
So
friendly,
here's a
but
message to the Canby Hoops team. Teach us, man.
yeah.
Show us.
So number seven of the media ranking was North Eugene. Um, Three voters did not rank them in the top eight. The high watermark of four, multiple number five rankings. One guy on Twitter did not get North Eugene's ranking.
Oh yeah, because Danny Ainge isn't
Yeah,
there. Come
because
on.
Even though, as
um,
Brian pointed out, they won a state championship in 2007 and were
and
the number three overall seed 2 years ago.
yeah, and that was the first 5A champion, and they went undefeated. If I
Yeah.
Wow,
We
yeah.
we we talked a little bit about them in the
Yeah,
summer.
we sure did. We sure did. I think all of us were pretty high on North Eugene. I ranked them fifth. Elias, never mind. And Pfeiffer Jackson as well. Um, and then Crook County is rounds out our top eight. The media is very split. Three members left them off of their ballots, and a high ranking of two, and another member ranked them third, and a lot of eights.
We'll
Thoughts,
have to wait
guys?
and see. We'll have to
Yeah,
wait and see.
yeah,
It's why they're preseason. It's why they're polls. It is our best guess at the end of the day. Um, all these teams have a chance to come out here and prove us wrong, and the teams off the list. So yeah, I mean, let's hear it for Thurston. Thurston, I know they're pissed off to hearing us talk about North Eugene, be the team to beat in the Midwestern when I'm sure they think they're still that. So yeah, I can't wait to watch all this, shuffle up just a ridiculous amount in the first few weeks of the season as we figure out, which of these teams are actually at the top.
yeah. So for transparency purposes, I was lower on Crook County than you three. I
Okay.
had them eighth. Elias all the way up at all the way up at three, and
Wow.
Jackson at six. So hopefully I'm welcome in Primeville again.
Hey man, you got him in the top eight.
Yeah,
That's respect.
yeah. Um, so the other teams that received votes, LaSalle Prep, no love for the defending state champions, and Thurston, no love for the Midwestern League champs. Crazy, crazy those didn't crack the top eight
No love
at
for the
Yeah.
Miss.
all.
No love for the Midwestern at all. Jeez, I just realized.
Oh
Oh no,
wow.
North
North Eugene's in
Eugene.
there. North
Yeah,
Eugene's in
North
there. Never
Eugene.
mind.
Yeah,
No
I
love from Elias for the Midwestern League.
I
yeah, so let's see. I had LaSalle at seven, and I
I think
didn't
I had
have,
them in mind as well.
yeah, so I had LaSalle seven, uh did not have Thurston. They're probably 9, 10, 11 range.
Yeah.
Elias, you did not have LaSalle on your top eight, and Thurston sneaks in with number eight ranking, and Jackson, Thurston, where are they?
Not in my
LaSalle,
top eight, I suppose.
LaSalle, where are they?
LaSalle's not in mine either. Dang.
No,
Those would probably be my number nine, number 10 teams right now. I'll tell you that much.
yeah,
And like I
yeah,
said, a lot of these teams are pretty close in terms of expectation right now. A lot of them think they can make a run to Linfield, and it's about what happens in the next few months. It's going to be a lot of fun. Like we got some people ranking Crook County as the number two team, and others not having them in their top eight. So that's what makes this so much fun. That's why we're getting as many voices involved with that media poll. I think that's great.
yeah. The consensus is there's like 11 teams we like
Right.
coaches and the media feel good about, but where they rank on 1 to 11 is wildly different, depending on who you uh with depending what coach you talk to, or who you read or interact with on the media side. So it's fun. We'll see how it goes.
And we're waiting for that one team outside of those 11 to step up and shut us all up, right? That's another fun part about it.
Absolutely.
Any more for the good of the order, fellas? As
I
Brian would
just
say.
I just wanted to point out Lucas Labounty had a big game in their Thurston's opener last night against Central. He dropped
Oh
22.
yeah,
Ridge Lindsay scored 16. Trayson Hill had 10.6 rebound, 10 points, 9 rebounds. And Leo Philp scored 10. And then I'm sure you guys saw that in Sheldon, I believe.
yep.
Malachi Barlow had a game winner to help Crater take down the Irish. Grant Julian had 20, or is it Julian Grant? I
Julian
mean,
Grant.
Julian Grant. I just read his Twitter handle. He led the team with 20 points, and Malachi had 19. Tucker Hopkins added 8. So good start to the season for those two programs. Oh, and North Eugene, obviously, they blew out Willamette. It was not pretty. 71 to 42. Jordan Gray had 19 points. Zach Fisher 13. And they just had quite a bit of contribution from like I think yeah, looking at this, 5 guys were in double figures, so they really just ran the table against Willamette.
And I think we shouldn't leave out the South Eugene Axe
Oh yeah.
picking up a big win. Coach Noggle getting it done.
Thank you, Brian. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Was on the sideline helping coach up the freshman team for South Eugene yesterday. Um, did not go in with, the highest expectations. These guys have only had a few, not a few, but they've had quite a few practices under their belt. But obviously, they're new to high school basketball. They're new to playing at that level. They're new to this, offense and this system. Obviously, there's a new head coach at South Eugene. Shout out to George Zaninovich, great guy, really instilling the culture over there. And yeah, it was a clean sweep for the Axe in my first, series of games in the building. So whatever that means, it was a good, it was
Means
a
a
good day.
lot.
It was a good day for the Axe. Churchill's varsity team for our 5A folks put up a really good fight. Honestly looked solid. Ryan Gutierrez was unconscious in the first half, hit two or three threes to kind of keep them in it. Um, South Eugene got the lead up to double digits a couple of times, but Churchill was able to fight back into it. Obviously, the Dome is a really, really tough place to play, just a peculiar environment. It's pretty dim. It's like weird in terms of depth perception and the rims. They're kind of just hanging in space. And it gets packed and loud in there. And it was with the crosstown matchup going on. South rolled with a pretty big crowd. Churchill obviously had a big student section. So yeah, it was a really fun game. South ended up pulling it out by 3 after some big shots down the stretch by a couple of their guys. Um, but yeah, been a blast, being a part of a basketball program this winter. I don't think I've touched on that in the podcast yet, but yeah, just getting out there and building those relationships with those kids, helping grow the game and yeah, representing my community and all these things. It's been a lot of fun and super fulfilling. So I'm super glad that I've been able to do that. So yeah, shout out to the South coaches for getting me involved. And it was a good start on Wednesday, or was that Tuesday? Tuesday with the clean sweep. So yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Brian. That was fun.
Absolutely, man.
I think that might do it for us. Elias, you got anything else?
No.
Well, thank you very much for listening to the main event, Oregon's 5A basketball podcast. My name is Jackson Noggle, joined always by Brian Rathbone and Elias Esquivel. Thanks, everybody.